Hello everyone, in this video we are going to determine if a given function is even, odd, or neither, and we're going to use the algebraic method to determine if it's even, odd, or neither. This is the second part. I will put the link of the first part in the description box below. Please remember that functions can be categorized as even function or odd function. So a function is even if f of x is equal to f of negative x, and a function is odd if f of negative x is equal to the negative f of x. Now let's have some example to better see this rule that we have right here. Okay, so we're gonna go over the problem here. Again, if f of x is equal to f of negative x, it's gonna be classified as even. And then if the f of negative x is equal to the negative f of x, it's gonna be odd. So I'm just gonna go ahead and rewrite this. That's f of x is equal to negative 2 absolute value of x plus 3 minus 1. So we are going to write the f of negative x. Again, the trick in order that we can write this is to change all of the x's into a parentheses, then plug in the negative x to it and simplify. So we are going to rewrite this, so that would be negative 2, that's absolute value, parentheses, plus 3, absolute value minus 1. So then again, we plug in a negative x to the parentheses. So then we go ahead and simplify this. So this would come out negative 2 absolute value of negative x plus 3 minus 1. So this is our f of negative x. Now let's see if these two are the same. So they are not the same because you have a negative and a positive x right there. So this is not even. Now let's look at the negative f of x. So that would be a negative f of x would be equal to, again, the trick to this is to put this expression inside a parentheses and put a negative in front of the parentheses and distribute the negative and simplify. So that would be, I'm just going to rewrite this, negative 2 absolute value of x plus 3. And then minus 1, and then that's inside the parentheses. We put a negative in front of the parentheses and we distribute. So we're going to distribute this to each of the terms inside the parentheses. So this expression would come out, negative f of x would be positive 2 absolute value of x plus 3 plus 1. So because we distribute the negative and the negative makes it positive, and then the negative and negative makes it positive. So let's see if both of these are the same. So they are not the same. These two are not the same. So then we can go ahead and say that this function that we have right here is neither. Did you get the same answer as this? Good. Perfect. Now let's move on to the fifth problem right here. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. Again, if f of x is equal to f of negative x, that will be classified as even. F of negative x is equal to negative f of x, that would be odd. So then I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite this equation right here. Our f of x is 3x square root of x squared plus 4. So we're going to move on and determine the f of negative x. Again, the trick in order that we can write this is to change all the x's into a parentheses, then plug in a negative x to each of the parentheses and simplify. So this would come out, change the x into a parentheses, so that would be 3 parentheses. That's going to be a square root of parentheses squared plus 4. So I change the x's into a parentheses. Now we put a negative x inside the parentheses and simplify. So then we can go ahead and simplify this as f of negative x would be 3 times negative x is negative 3x. And then that is the square root of negative x times negative x is a positive x squared. And then that's plus 4. Are these two the same? They are not, because that's positive, this is negative, so then this is not even. So we test if it's odd by writing negative f of x. Again, the trick in writing negative f of x is to put this expression inside the parentheses and put a negative in front of the parentheses, distribute the negative and simplify. So that would be, put this inside the parentheses, that's 3x absolute value of x squared plus, that's going to be x squared plus 4. So then we go ahead and put a negative in front of it. So this would come out, we distribute. So this, by the way, this whole thing is considered just one term. So they're not separate, because this one, there's no, because others are going to think like, oh, why did you, is there a plus there? This whole thing is just one term. Okay, so then we go ahead and rewrite this as negative f of x is equal to negative 3x square root of x squared plus 4. So let's see if these two are the same. They are the same. So that means this is odd, because you have these two are the same. The f of negative x and the negative f of x are the same. So this is odd. Did you get the same answer as this? Good. Perfect. Now let's move on to the next example right here. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. Again, if f of x is equal to f of negative x, that would be classified as even. And if f of negative x is equal to the negative f of x, that would be odd. So then I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite this equation, this function. I'm going to rewrite this function right here. F of x is equal to negative x to the fourth plus 3x squared minus 1. Now we're ready to determine the f of negative x. Again, the trick in order that we can write this is to change all the x into a parentheses, then plug in negative x to each of the parentheses and simplify. So I'm just going to copy this, but I'm going to change the x into a parentheses. So I'm just going to copy this and change the x into a parentheses. So that's negative parentheses fourth power plus 3 parentheses second power minus 1. Again, remember we put a negative x to each of the parentheses. So then we go ahead and simplify this f of negative x. So that would be, just a reminder, because others are going to think that they're going to distribute this to make it positive. That is not the right way to do it. You are going to simplify the ones inside the parentheses first. So this would come out negative of negative x to the fourth power. That means negative x times negative x times negative x times negative x is a positive x to the fourth. Okay, and then we go ahead and simplify this. Negative x times negative x is a positive x. So this would come out positive 3x squared minus 1. So then let's see if these two are the same. Then these two are a match. So that means this function is even. Again, let's test if it's odd, because others are going to think that could it be possible that we get an even and odd at the same time? No, it's not possible. But let's show the work for this one. That's negative f of x is equal to, again, the trick to this is to put this expression right here for f of x inside the parentheses, then put the negative in front of the parentheses, distribute the negative, and simplify. So I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. That's negative x to the fourth plus 3x squared minus 1. We put the negative in front of it, and then we distribute the negative to each of the terms inside the parentheses. So then this would come out, negative f of x would be equal to, that's a positive x to the fourth, that's a negative 3x squared, and that's a positive 1. Are these two the same? They are not. So then we go ahead and say this is even. Did you get the same answer as this? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!